Hi everybody, it's Catherine from In the Pink Designs. The new catalog from Stampin' Up! Is live today, and the SALE-A-BRATION is live today also. My project today is from the Hippest Hippos stamp set and the Hippo dies. These are both SALE-A-BRATION items. $50 purchase, you can get either one of them free. $100, you can get them both. Okay, this is my host code if I didn't say that already. If you're going to spend less than $150, I put them all together and I can get a little something to send everybody. If it's over $150, you don't want to put a host code because you want to get your Stampin' rewards. So, this box is, I don't know what I'm going to call it, maybe a high-low box, or it's 2 pieces. And inside I have 2 Kit Kats, and actually you could probably put 2 more Kit Kats on top of that, and 2 bottles of our Mambo glue. So it's pretty tall. You can fit a lot of things in here. And the bottom is just a smidge smaller than the top so that it will go on nicely. The actual box measures 4 1/4 by 3 by 1 3/4 total. Alrighty, and I also used the stitched rectangle dies for the actual background here and the sentiment, and I used, of course, the Hippo dies and the Hippest Hippos stamp set. I also used some Vellum and the cloud punch to make the background as like a stencil. So I'll show you how to do that. What we need today is a piece of Melon Mambo that is 7 5/8 by 6 3/8. Okay, and we need a piece of Daffodil Delight that is 6 1/4 by 5. We need some basic white. We actually need 2 pieces of basic white for stamping and to do the background. We need 1 piece of the Brights Designer Series paper that is 2 1/2 by 3 3/4. We need this rectangle from the stitched rectangle dies for the sentiment. Okay, now this, what I did is I cut an entire rectangle, same size as this one, from the rectangle stitched dies. And then I took the, all right, my die just fell under my desk and I can't find it at this moment. So what I did is, this is a die, it's about this long, from the Hippos dies. That's kind of, I think, water maybe, but I used it to cut this rectangle. I cut about 3/4 of the bottom at the highest point off so that it would be like a little hill, and that's what we're going to use for the bottom on the background. Okay, so we need that piece out of Granny Apple Green. Also from the dies, we need a little umbrella. This is a polka dotted yellow umbrella, also from the Brights DSP. And we need 2 flowers that are from the Hippo dies. Okay, so let's put this away and let's start with our actual box pieces. All right, we'll do the top first and get my Simply Scored. And this is a piece of Daffodil Delight that is 6 1/4 by 5. All right, sorry. All we're going to do with this is score it at 1 inch on all 4 sides. So just turn it a 1/4 turn every time until you've gotten all 4 sides. Okay, so that's the bottom. Now the top is 7 5/8 by 6 3/8, and it's a little bit, it's going to be a little bit smaller. It's bigger because it's going to be 1 3/4 high, but the actual inside here is a little bit smaller just so that we can open and close it without it buckling. All right, so again, this is 7 5/8 by 6 3/8, and what we're going to do on this one is score at 1 3/4 on all 4 sides. I'm just going to fold and burnish. Alright. And we're basically doing the same thing to both. We're just going to go a quarter turn and go to the bottom right and cut the side of the rectangle straight and wedge each side of the square. Alright, so let's start with the Daffodil Delight. We're going to go to the second score line, cut it straight to the first score line you come to, and then wedge each side of the square. Okay, we're going to turn it a quarter turn, second score line up to the first score line, and wedge each side of the square. Quarter turn, second score line to the first one you come to, and then wedge each side of the square and all the way around. Okay, and our Melon Mambo piece is the same thing. Second score line, cut it straight to the first score line and wedge each side of the square. And do that all the way around. Okay, and this is what your cardstock should look like after you've done scoring it and cutting it. Okay, now we need some tear and tape. Oops, and we're going to put it on all the tabs, one close to the score line and one at the edge. Alright, now I'm going to get my Take Your Pick tool, and we'll start with the top, and I'm just going to take off all of the backings. Okay. Alright, and all we're going to do is take the top score line of the tab and make it straight with the side of the rectangle. Do that all around. Okay, that's our top, and then with the bottom piece. Okay, and these should fit nicely because there is 1/8 inch. The top is 1/8 inch bigger than the bottom, so they can slide off and on easily. Alright, and then I'm going to just take a small circle punch and center it and take a little notch out of each side of the top on the long sides. Okay. Alright, now what I did with the cloud punch is I cut out 3 clouds from Vellum and I just taped them together just so that they would make an odd bumpy pattern. Okay. Alright, and then we're going to get our piece of basic white. It has to be bigger than this rectangle from the rectangle stitch dies, and it's about 3 1/8 by 1 3/4. Okay, so what we're going to do now, if you have our blending brushes, which I haven't purchased yet, that's perfect to use with this, but I'm just going to use one of our old sponges that are retired. Alright, so we're going to start, I'm going to start at the top, and we need a piece of scrap behind us so we don't wreck our paper. Okay, and I'm just going to get some ink on, and then I'm just going to kind of rub on the top. Oops, try not to move your stencil. Well, it's a stencil now, it's not a real stencil, but we made one. Okay, and then just move it and just decide how you want to change it a little bit. And just rub it. Your fingers are going to get a little messy. Okay, and then I want maybe like this. And we're going to do it so that, whoops, it will fit on the entire rectangle. So we're going to cover up the bottom. Maybe this way now. Oh, that one's really turning on me. All right. And then a big one maybe right here. Goodness gracious. I gotta learn to hold it still. All right. And then maybe this way. You know what? And I'm going to turn it this way so we have some of the bigger bumps on this side. And there's a piece of tape that came up, so I want to move that. Okay. Okay, and let's just see, where is our, here's our rectangle. And we just want to put, yeah, that's plenty enough. All right. So we're going to put our rectangle over the clouds we made. And I'm doing this because I have a challenge. Today's the last day. I have a team challenge that you have to have something stenciled in it. So that's why I did this. So I'm going to cut this out and I'll be right back. Okay, and there we got our clouded background. All right, I could have put them a little spaced a little farther apart, but that's okay. All right, and then what we're going to do, we could even use the, what is that called? The part that's left over after you've cut out what you need. Forget the name. I know it. I know it. I just can't figure it out right now. All right, and then I'm just going to put this piece of grass that we made. We cut out the stitched rectangle, and then we cut it with the waves die from the Hippo dies. And I just want to put maybe a little bit more blue right here so it doesn't look, because it's just sticking up right there. So I'm just going to add a little blue there. Okay. All right, and I'm just going to take my liquid glue. I'm just going to match it over the bottom of our rectangle, just like that. And that's how I made the background. Okay, now in this one I made much bigger. I brought it down a lot farther. These are kind of close together, but any way it goes is fine. All right, now we're going to do our stamping our hippopotamus, and I'm using the little dancing one with the tutu. I love it. There we go. Now, I forgot when I did this one, I forgot I had dies, and I fussy cut that hippo when I didn't have to. And I have one here already fussy cut, so you don't have to wait. Already die cut. Okay. And this is pretty quick and easy coloring. I'm using 4 markers, light and dark. So, Smoky Slate, dark Melon Mambo, and dark Petal Pink. Petal Pink, I'm just going to do the very inside of the hippo's ears. All right, and then with the dark Smoky Slate, I'm going to go on the other side of the ears. And I'm going to do everything but the mouth and the belly. All right, and I'm going to put a little bit underneath the tutu to make a little shadow on the rest of that belly. But but not the eyes. I'm just going to kind of go around the eyes. but the outer parts, like the top of the head, the hands, and the legs, but the toenails, the fingernails, I guess they would be, I'm gonna do in the light smoky slate also. Okay, and then I'm just gonna color in, and you know what, I'm gonna put a little bit of dark at the bottom of the face, the mouth face kind of thing here. All right, and then I'm just gonna blend it out with the light smoky slate. Okay. Alrighty. Did I miss? I missed the whole piece of. Alright, and then I'm going to use light Melon Mambo for the tutu and the ballet shoes. Alright, and that's the hippo. Okay, now we're going to put our hippo down about right there, kind of right in the middle, and I'm going to get dimensionals and mini dimensionals. Okay, and for the mini dimensionals, I'm going to use my take your pick tool. And I'm going to put them on her feet. And then I'll put regular dimensionals, one up high and one in the middle. I'm just going to put her just about touching the grass, a little over. Okay. Then let's bring our box back in. We need our piece of Melon Mambo. Melon Mambo DSP. That is 2.5 by 3 3/4. Yep. Okay, and I'm going to put that on with liquid glue. I'm just going to center it on the top. Okay, and then I'm just going to also glue our sky and hippo right in the middle of that. Alrighty. Okay, now let's put our little umbrella, and we're going to put 2 dimensionals on the. Okay, so I put 2 mini dimensionals, one on each side of the umbrella, because one will go onto the clouds and one's going to go on the box, so I wanted a separate one. And just a dash of glue, just a tiniest little bit of glue. You don't really want it to be too much, but you have to get some out. There we go. And then just spread it on that bottom piece. Then we want it to attach. Oh, no. Okay. We want it to attach to her hand a little bit. And then up there. Okay. Then we need our 2 little flowers. And I'm just going to take my take your pick tool, and I'm only going to put a little bit in the middle. And I'm going to put this one up here, kind of hanging off a little bit. And the other one next to it. You could use your silicone mat for this too if you wanted to. And now we need our piece of Melon Mambo that we cut with the rectangle stitched dies. This one is 2.5 by 1/2. And I'm going to use the sentiment, love you a ton. And we're going to put it towards the right hand side. Great. Alrighty. Then I cut about 1/2 inch off the beginning. Where's my bone folder? Here we go. I just gave it a little bit of a curl. And I'm just going to put it right at the top there like that with some liquid glue. Just hold it there a minute. Might want to push it back right at the edge so it sticks up. Okay, and then we have, I'm using some glittered organdy ribbon. I'm just going to tie a bow. And I'm going to get some glue dots. If I didn't have my, take your pick tool, things would be a lot harder. Put this side. I'm going to just lay 2 glue dots next to each other. I'm going to put this right over the end of the tag. Just like that. And then the sentiment kind of comes out the side. And that's the host code, sorry. I'm going to get some Wink of Stella and I'm going to put it on the tutu, on the little shoes, and just a tiny bit on the actual pupil, the little life. And for the final touch, I'm going to use some glossy dots, the Melon Mambo ones, and I'm going to put a medium-sized one on the side of the umbrella and 2 small ones in the middle of the flowers. And that's it. I hope you had a good time watching this. I appreciate all the time you spend watching my tutorials. It helps me a lot. If you're not subscribed, I would love it if you would subscribe and hit the like button. And if you want to be notified when I upload a video, you can hit the notification bell. The mini holiday catalog and the celebration catalog is live now. You can shop with me at the address at the top of the screen. It's also linked below. All of my measurements are linked below also. The blog where they're listed is linked. And I also list all the supplies I used. Okay, if you have any questions, my email is down there. And have a great 4th of July weekend, and I will see you next week. Bye.